Welcome to the Liberating River, where spiritual freedom meets soul aligned wealth. I'm your guide, Wanda F. Nesbit. Let's break free, build boldly, and live fully together. Welcome back, family, to the Liberating River, where freedom, faith, and alignment flow unapologetically. I am your river guide, Wanda F. Nesbit, and today we're diving into the conversation that is long overdue. We're talking about unlocking blessings, releasing religious baggage and shame. But before we get started, as you can probably hear, I am sick, but I am showing up for you. This is one of the many things I learned from my pastor. Him transitioning was a great loss. Uh, he was he was a good one. So I apologize for the possible sniffles and sneezes. I am not editing those out because that's what being unapologetically authentic means. Life is not perfection. It is about showing up close to your best as possible. Right now, I'm not my best, but I'm here. Now that that's out the way, back to what we were talking about for today. Unlocking blessings, releasing religious baggage and shame. Now, let's be honest, many of us are walking around with bags we were never meant to carry. They are heavy burdens of shame, guilt, condemnation, or even fear that came from religious systems. Possibly their teachings or maybe the environment. Doesn't matter. But it didn't set us free, it tied us up. But here's the truth: blessings don't flow in bondage. When we release shame and baggage, we open up ourselves to the blessings that God has already aligned for our lives. And today we're going to flow and swim through this era. I'm going to show you what religious baggage looks like, how shame works against your spirit, and practical steps you can take today to begin releasing them. And the best part, these steps are spiritual, not complicated, and not tied to religious dogma. They're designed to bring you back into alignment with divine love and freedom. So let's get started. Part one, defining religious baggage and shame. First, let's define, I like definition, what we mean by religious baggage. Religious baggage is any belief, memory, or internalized teaching that keeps you from experiencing God's love, freedom, and abundance. It looks like believing you're unworthy of blessings unless you perform perfectly, associating God with punishment rather than love, carrying guilt from past mistakes even though grace has already been given, living under fear of judgment instead of walking in peace. Now, shame is a toxic emotion. It's different from conviction. Conviction says this action was wrong. Let's adjust. Shame says you are wrong. You are broken. You'll never be enough. Shame is crippling. It keeps you small, silent, and scared. And many of us picked up shame from religious experiences, whether it was the sermons, the rules, or even relationships that focused more on control than compassion. I'm going to ask you this question. Think about it. What beliefs about yourself have you been carrying that actually came from shame, not from God? Part two, the impact of religious baggage. When we carry baggage, it affects every area of our lives. Spiritually, it distorts how we see God. Instead of a loving creator, we see a punisher. Instead of a guide, we see a taskmaster. Emotionally, it creates cycles of guilt and self-criticism. You second guess yourself. You feel like you're always falling short. And practically, oh my goodness, it limits blessings. Not because God is withholding them, but because shame convinces you you're not allowed to receive. It's like standing under an open sky while holding an umbrella of shame. The blessings are pouring, but you can't feel them because something you're holding is blocking the flow. Part three, why we hold onto baggage. Why do we carry baggage when it's so heavy? I think it's because it's familiar. Again, it's what we were taught. For some of us, it's generationally passed down from our parents, our grandparents, entire communities. We fear that if we put it down, we'll lose our identity. Or worse, we'll lose God's approval. But here's the truth: God's approval was never tied to how much shame you could carry, it was always tied to his love for you. Ain't that awesome? Part four, how to release bags and shame. Now, these are going to be the practical spiritual steps, okay? Now, let's talk about how to actually put the bags down. This is where the shift happens. These are spiritual steps you can begin today using. Simple, not complicated. Deep, but not heavy. All right? Step one, name what you're carrying. Take a journal or a sheet of paper and write it down. Write down the belief, your memory, or the rule that has been weighing on you. For example, I believe I'm not worthy unless I'm perfect. I believe God is angry at me all the time. Naming it brings it out of the shadows. Step two, replace it with truth. Every lie you've believed can be replaced with truth. Replace I'm unworthy with I am loved unconditionally. Replace God is punishing me with God is guiding me. Scripture to hold on to is, John 8:36. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed. Step three, release through breath work or prayer. This can be done as simple as closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, and saying, I release the shame of, and name it. I no longer carry this. I give it back. You don't need fancy rituals, just willingness. Step four, practice daily affirmations. Affirmations rewire your spirit, mind, and your brain. Try these. I am worthy of blessings. I am free from shame. God's love flows freely to me and through me. Step five, surrender yourself with liberating voices. Be mindful of what you listen to. If a teaching, a space, or relationships makes you feel small, guilty, or fearful, ask yourself, is this God's truth or someone's control? Step six, bless yourself with compassion each morning. Place your hand on your heart and say, I bless myself with compassion today. I will not shame myself into obedience. I love myself into freedom. These small practices, they're small, but they're powerful, and they'll help train your spirit and your mind to release and receive. Release the baggage and receive the blessings. Part five, what happens when you release? Oh, this is the best part. When you release your baggage and your shame, here's what happens. Your spiritual clarity sharpens. You hear God's guidance without fear clouding it and interfering. Your emotional, your emotionalness, that weight that shifts. You walk lighter, you feel freer, your blessings flow, not because they weren't there before, but because now you're more open to receiving them. You're more aligned. You're decluttered. Once you move out the boxes of old junk, light can come in and you can breathe again. And you realize the space was always there. It was just blocked. Part six, living without the bags. This isn't a one time release. Life has a way of trying to hand you more bags. The key is to build a rhythm of release. That means journaling regularly, if that's your thing, breathing and praying or meditating through the shame when it comes up. Checking your spiritual diet. Who are you listening to? Choosing compassion over condemnation daily. And remember, you don't need religion to carry you into freedom. You need spirit, love, and willingness. Blessings flow best when you travel with light. Family, it's time. Time to put down the bags, time to silence the shame, time to unlock the blessings that have been waiting for you all along. Here's your reflection for this week. What baggage am I carrying that God never asked me to hold? And how can I begin releasing it today? I'd love to hear how this episode resonates with you. Share it with someone who's ready to release shame. Leave a review, connect with me online, and keep an eye out for my upcoming Liberated Living resources that will walk you deeper into freedom. I'll leave you with this. Blessings don't flow in bondage. Release the bondage. Release the baggage. Release the shame. Step into freedom and abundance. That's where you're always meant to be. Until next time, keep flowing in freedom. Thanks for flowing with us on the Liberating River. Subscribe, share, and come back next week for more wisdom, wealth, and alignment. Stay free, stay grounded, stay bold.